Don't know if I can find my way out. I'm stuck in a prison of doubt. In this torsion, and everything is growing up tight. There's no room to breathe.
Hi everyone, welcome to my first ever podcast on this cold and dreary and windy day. My name is Lydia and I'm really happy that you have joined me today. As you can probably tell from the name of my YouTube channel, I live on an island called Phillip Island. It is south of sort of the south coast of Victoria, about an hour and a half, an hour and 50 minutes from Melbourne, which is the second largest city in Australia. On this YouTube channel, I hope to share with you my knitting journey, the successes, the mistakes, and everything in between, and hopefully also share some snippets of our beautiful island home along the way. Firstly, I thought I'd just share with you a little bit about my knitting and how I came into knitting. I actually learnt to knit and crochet at a young age in primary school, and sort of throughout my life I've done a bit of knitting and a bit of crocheting, but sort of more in my adult life I focused more on crocheting, particularly blankets and scarves, that sort of thing, and I'd occasionally knit a scarf, or I've knitted a couple of jumpers and a slipover or a vest, but really did mostly focus on crocheting. And then last year I had an opportunity to go overseas for a conference with my work, and I was going in November to Denmark, and then took the opportunity to go and visit family in the Netherlands. And I realised that I really didn't have any jumpers or sweaters that were suited to the very cold weather. Here in Victoria, it does get cold in winter, but not anything like it does in Europe. The lowest it will probably reach sort of in the middle of the day would be, maybe 6 or 7 degrees Celsius, so not very cold. But I knew going to Denmark and the Netherlands, it was going to reach 0 on some days, 0 degrees Celsius. So really thought that I probably needed to quickly make some jumpers. So I actually did crochet 2 jumpers, and if anyone is interested, I'm happy to, in a future podcast, to show you what I knitted. But I also did knit this jumper here that I'm wearing, and I'll tell you a little bit about this a bit later. But that sort of spurred on again my my love for knitting, and as I will show you in the next chapter where I go through what I've completed, I've actually done quite a few, finished quite a few garments in the last several months. So that sort of really kick-started my my passion for knitting again, and really now it's been about 7 or 8 months and I've not stopped. So I just really do enjoy after a day's work and on the weekends just relaxing and knitting while I'm either watching television or listening to some music. So I find that it is extremely relaxing. It helps me unwind, particularly on quite stressful days, and I really enjoy producing something and having something that I can wear and say that I made myself. So that's sort of how my knitting passion was reignited. So around that same time, I also started watching some YouTube channels and really enjoyed watching other people's channels and seeing what garments they were making, what yarns and patterns they were using, and it really inspired me to think about starting my own YouTube channel. So here I am. I hope you will enjoy this channel, and if you do, please like or subscribe, and please feel free to leave comments about what you think and anything that you would like for me to speak about in these podcasts. Let's jump into what garments I've recently completed. Firstly, what I'm wearing. This is Kudavakika's seashore blouse. I knitted it in size extra small and I didn't make any modifications to the pattern. I did want it a little bit more fitted so that I could wear it like to work, and it is made out of merino wool, a brand called Heirloom, and it's an Australian company. It is in shade 216 and it is a DK or 8-ply wool. The colour is sort of a bit of a plum colour, and this is what it looks like. The next garment is also the seashore blouse. However, this time I've made it in 100% cotton in this beautiful sort of dusty blue. It's from Bendigo Woolen Mills and it's called Neptune Crush. That's the colour. But this time I made it in size small because it's a little bit more casual and I wanted it to have a bit more of an oversized feel. And I'll put up here a photo of me wearing it. And because I'm not the sort of person that likes to play yarn chicken, I always overbuy my yarn, and I had some left over, and therefore I made Kudavakika's Love Letter top, and here is a photo of me wearing it. Again, as you can see, same yarn, Neptune Crush, which is a DK weight cotton. My latest summer knit top that I have completed is also a Bendigo Woolen Mills cotton top, this time in colour Apple Pie Crush, and it's the pie top. I've only just finished this, so as you can see, all the ends still need to be woven in and it needs to be blocked, but this looks quite cute. I made this in size small, and the one modification I made, rather than doing just a normal 1x1 rib, I actually did a twisted rib. I'm actually quite a fan of the twisted rib. I just like the way it looks. It does tend to slant sort of towards one side with actually it's a half twisted rib, but I do like the way it is finished. Again, I didn't make any modifications to this pattern, and it fits really, really nicely. So I'm quite happy with this. I won't have time to wear this or opportunity to wear this year because we've just gone into autumn and it is starting to get a little bit cold, so I will have this in my wardrobe for next season. As I mentioned in my intro, I happened to be travelling in the Netherlands last year visiting family in Bergen, and I did visit a quaint little wool shop there, and I bought some beautiful Navita wool. I can't remember the exact name of it because I've lost the tag, but it was a wool and tencel blend, and it's in this lovely sort of dusty bubblegum colour. And it is held with Drops Kid Silk. So this is the Tulip Sweater by Other Loops, and it's come out so beautifully soft. It's amazing. And again, having knitted this, I finished this in January. We're only going to be going into winter in the next couple of months, so I'm really, really looking forward to being able to wear this jumper. It just is so soft and snuggly, and it's just slightly oversized. I don't want it too big, so I'm really looking forward to wearing this jumper. Okay, so that is really what I've completed. So those 5 garments. You'll hear me talk a lot about Bendigo Woolen Mills. It's a local Victorian business which make quite a variety of different yarns and yarn blends. Here's their free shade card that they give out every year. It's really quite lovely. You don't have to pay for this. They send it out if you're subscribed to their website, and they just post all their new colours, but they do have many other yarns and yarn blends as well, so I do tend to buy a lot from them. It's quite affordable, so generally they come in 200-gram balls, and the balls of yarn are depending on whether they're cotton or superfine merino or just normal wool, range anywhere from about $17 to about $19 per 200 grams. So that works out quite economically. So next, what I am currently working on. So again, this is a Kudavakika pattern. As you can see, I do love her patterns, and I'm currently working on the wishbone sweater. So that is that there. I have just split for the back and the front, so I'm working currently on the back panel. I did choose to do the German short rows in the back because I did want the front slightly lower. I'm making this out of Bendigo Woolen Mills Whisper Cloud. It is 100% superfine wool there, and it is in the colour Cloud. It is a DK yarn, and it is super soft, and I'm holding it with another silk mohair which is made in Italy but is made for Bendigo Woolen Mills, and it's called Lilt, and this is in the colourway Silverstone, so holding the two together, and they complement each other quite nicely. So looking forward to finishing this. And the next jumper I am working on is the Wintersole sweater. I'm currently just working in the round on the body. Still got quite a bit to go, but I will be making this sort of cropped, and so yeah, I'll probably have another week or so's worth of work on the body. And this one, again, I'm making it in Bendigo Woolen Mills. I'm holding it 2 strands of sports weight or 5-ply here in Australia, in the colour Classic Silver, and with this grey black wool as the contrast colour. So this is actually from my stash, so I've got quite a bit of this, so all I really needed to do was to buy the more silvery colour. I am trying to use up as much wool as I can from my stash, and I do have a lot in my stash, so wherever I can, I try and utilise that. So they're my 2 works in progress. My next cast on will be using this 8-ply or DK weight acrylic and multi-wool mix in pink and black flecks. As you can see, that there's this haze of black going through the yarn, and the pink is sort of a mild pinky colour, which looks really pretty. And I'm hoping to make the James sweater, the V-neck version, by Calibri by Joanna, in that it does call for a bulky weight yarn, so I'm not sure how I'm going to go using this yarn. I will swatch it and see whether I can, meet gauge with a bigger size needle, or alternatively, if I don't like the way the fabric turns out with a larger needle size, I may just go up in size to get sort of that more oversized feel. I feel that a bulky jumper for our type of climate really won't work. I probably wouldn't get a lot of wear out of it because it doesn't get that cold. Alternatively, I might try another V-neck cable jumper, but let's see how I go. So finally, the last thing I sort of want to mention is just some of the cute little things that I've purchased sort of recently. You may have seen on some of my works in progress these cute little stoppers that you put at the end of your needles, just little cat paws. These come in 4 different colours, so very cute. So I'm enjoying using those. And also recently I purchased these little, not sure if you can see that, to help keep track of my rows. I'll put the links to these below. I find these particularly useful when I've got repeat patterns. For example, if you've got a sort of an 8-row repeat in a cable, it's a good way for me to keep track of where I'm at in the pattern. It comes with about 4 of these, and then you have individual little markers that you can use for your progress, and they range from 0 to 9. So they're quite cute, and I'm finding them very useful. And then also this Knit Pro folder, just in a beautiful black damask, and it has, I'll just get that, a little pouch here where you can put things in. It has a pen which you can store, so a little pen, and it has these little magnets here that can hold down your work. And I find this extremely handy when I'm doing colour work, so that I can mark where I'm up to. So that's something that's helped enormously, because I always lose track of where I'm up to, particularly when I'm using charts. So I'll add the links to the bottom if anyone's interested in having details of those little acquisitions. So thank you for joining me in this first podcast. Please leave comments, any suggestions, all feedback is welcome, and hopefully you will join me again on my next episode. Thanks everyone. Bye.